rented a tsunobashiri for us, did you? Those spine gliders are tough. We owe you one. Arigato. You're clearly well able to do your job then. But how are you holding up? No strange sensations? Excellent! That's good to hear. You must tell me at once if you notice anything out of the ordinary. Having a karakuri implanted in your body may have consequences you're not expecting. The seed is a very old karakuri, the crystallization of wisdom amassed by the ancient hunters. It will make a deep physiological and mental connection with you. It allows its host to conjure and control karakuri, to influence the ki that flows through the entire natural world, in fact. Until now, I honestly believed it was a fairy tale. I certainly never imagined that I'd see it with my own eyes. Side effects? Well, there are certainly pitfalls. Firstly, I don't believe you can manipulate karakuri wherever and whenever you like. You've experienced that already, of course. You haven't been able to make use of karakuri here in Minato, for example, have you? Secondly, although the seed is said to contain the ingredients for a plethora of karakuri, it would appear you can't conjure them all whenever you like. I imagine there has to be some sort of trigger to stimulate the requisite memory. Given that it's a hunter's device, it seems reasonable to assume that those triggers will occur in the course of hunting activities. And thirdly, I dare say this is the most pertinent of the pitfalls from your perspective. The seed is deeply embedded in your heart. So deeply that one can no longer function without the other. What I'm trying to say is that if that tiny karakuri were to break, you would die. Now, it's not especially fragile, so there's no need to panic, but still, I would treat it with due care. Good. Yes, before you go, there's one last thing. There's a small task I'd like you to undertake. Or rather, the town elders have decided it should be done. It may even result in the first pitfall that I mentioned before being rendered moot. I think it would be quicker to show you rather than trying to explain further. Would you accompany me to the Spirit Isle? We can leave whenever you're ready. And Natsume will be coming along too. So a trip to the island. A boat trip. Unavoidable, I suppose. Oh, sorry. I'm talking to myself. As soon as you're ready, we'll set off together.
Thank you for attending. I have arranged to convey you with a special medal of honor to repay you for your services to Minato. I regret to say that it's little more than a token. Town funds are very much not at my disposal. Nevertheless, I would be gratified if it pleases you. I have also made a record of the meritorious conduct for which it was earned. I like to reward contributions to the town in this way, and I am sure this will not be your last. So do attend me again soon. Perhaps we might engage in conversation as well.
I feel like there's... You couldn't come with me for a minute, could you? There's a little thing you might be able to help me with. Yataro here is a bit stuck for some materials. I was thinking maybe you could gather them up for him?
I didn't ask for any help. Why are you sticking your nose in?
Come on, stop being so stubborn. You were grumbling before about not being able to carry on with your work.
Maybe I was, but that doesn't mean I need help from an outsider. Alright, if you're that insistent.
You've got a solid offer of help here, Yataro. You'd be mad not to take it. Where's that list you showed me before of everything you need? Just give it to the hunter here, and we can all get on.
Fine.
Great. When you found everything, just give it straight to Yataro, would you? Arigato!
I forgot how much I hate boats.
Are you alright, Sensei? You did say you'd explain what we're doing here when we'd arrived.
I'll be fine. So, there is an old ruin on the island here where the natural flow of ki has stagnated. I need you to clear the blockage. I think... You said you tried it before, didn't you? In the Nanohana field along the old Blossom Trail.
I think you told me you broke the stagnant crust and that made your karakuri work?
I'd like you to do the same thing here. I learned that a particular material is required for the job, and through meticulous research, I've managed to ascertain which kemono to hunt to obtain it. It's a kemono called Jigokuzaru, or lava back.
As far as we know, it's lived on this island since ancient times. Apparently, Minato's hunters have never been a match for it.
Your confidence is reassuring, but I don't want you taking any unnecessary risks. If it seems too much for you, return to Minato and reconsider your approach.
I hear that the lavaback lives on the north side, but there are other kemono on the island too. Perhaps hunting some of those first would be a good plan. Then I can make you stronger equipment with the materials.
Let's hope this really does help Minato flourish again.
Sensei?
Sorry, I was muttering to myself. Oh yes, I nearly forgot. I've taken the liberty of adding a rather special karakuri to your gauntlet. I have a matching one, and together they'll allow us to communicate when we're too far away to speak to each other. It'll all become clear once you use it. We'll contact you in a little while, so don't be surprised if you suddenly hear our voices. Hello? Can you hear us? Ah, good. It seems to be functioning well.
Sugoi! It really worked! Let me see that!
Hands off, Natsume. I know you. You pull it apart.
But I always try to put things back together again.
Now, we'll help as best we can via this karakuri. Remind me never to take a boat anywhere again. Ever.
This one here.
All in place. See how you like this.
such demand. All right, we're on our way. The ruins are at the heart of the island. We'll take a no-safe route.
It's a long way, Sensei. Are you sure you're feeling up to it?
Not really, but I couldn't possibly miss this.
Well, please don't overdo it, will you?
Well, well. Again we meet. It seems you have a knack for cheating death. As a hunter, I see you have grown. The fire in your eyes burns stronger now. Fitting that our paths cross here, in the sacred land of the ancient hunters. Traces of their aspirations remain, both within you and without. Once it was so that hunters were born here, raised here, and would die on this soil. But in time, they expanded their horizons, crossing the sea to Azuma. But that migration was only possible with the power of Karakuri. With the knowledge and technology possessed only by those hunters of old. Sadly, all that was no longer is. The haven the hunters built for themselves in Azuma was washed away by the rain of 1,000 days. A great flood that covered all the land. What few hunters survived dispersed northward or westward, taking with them what little knowledge remained of Karakuri. All that was left behind crystallized to become the seed. So you see, all that was left behind now exists within you. You need only hunt, and trust that in so doing, the seed will soon grow.
Over there, look! Oi!
Sorry to keep you. Your successful defeat of the kimono means we can proceed with the... Oh. What's wrong? Really? I haven't seen anyone. This place is far too dangerous for most. Anyway, never mind. Let's get on with the plan. You remember we discussed how you're enabled to conjure and command Karakuri anywhere you like? Well, the reason for that is intimately tied to a form of energy known as celestial thread. Think about when you create Karakuri out of nothing. Tendril-like phenomena appear, don't they? That is celestial thread. It's the motive force behind all Karakuri. If there isn't enough of it, Karakuri can't operate. The larger and more complex the Karakuri, the more celestial thread is required to power it. You've probably noticed already as you've been walking around that these ruins appear to be some kind of giant Karakuri. We can only imagine that at one time it was functioning as intended until, for some reason, the celestial thread here dried up and it ground to a halt.
For some reason. Due to stagnation of ki in the ground, perhaps?
Precisely. Ki and celestial thread are essentially the same thing. The ki here is not flowing. Fix that, and these ruins should come alive. Legend tells that this place is actually an elaborate machine used to divert celestial thread to another location. And I'm sure by now you can deduce what location that is. Our very own Minato. Which means that if we're successful here, all the Karakuri that have been gathering dust in Minato until now should suddenly spring to life!
I was starting to think I'd never see them working again. It's been so long.
What we're trying to achieve here is crucial to the survival of the town. The influence of the kimono is growing all the time, and we have no way to defend ourselves. Sooner or later, we'll be forced to abandon Minato. So after many long discussions among the elders, they decided we should work towards restoring the town's karakuri to give us the means to fight back. Which is why your task here is to use your skills to wake up this ancient place.
Oh, Minato's karakuri working again. I just can't imagine it.
It's exciting, isn't it? I have memories from my early childhood when they were still working.
It's amazing to think this whole place is basically one large karakuri. I wonder just how advanced the ancient hunter's technology was.
And look at the celestial thread weaving its way. Oh, this I have to study.
So, we did it!
Yes, we did! A great success! You played your part perfectly. Thank you so much. Now, let us hurry back to Minato and see the transformation.
Yes. I can't wait to see what's happening around town. Let's go! Amazing, amazing, amazing! I never dreamed this could happen! Everything is working again! It's like life has been restored to the whole town. Every karakuri is working again. Oh, then the karakuri at the forge will be... This I have to see!
Well, Natsume's happy. To be honest, there are dozens of things I'd like to experiment with, too. And if you wouldn't mind, I'll be needing your help with many of them. Wow! Isn't this something? I expect you're dying to look around town. I know I am. Just think of the dust flying off all those old karakuri as they spring back to life. The bathhouse near the town gates, for example. The hot waters will be flowing again. Ah, they don't need an attendant now. It couldn't have gone better. And it's all thanks to you.
Oh!
It all went exactly to plan. The town's karakuri are buzzing again. I simply couldn't have done it without you, you know.
Such ingenuity here in Minato. Your reward, Irene. Ah, the spirit wheel is turning again. Long may Minato benefit from your exceptional hunting skills.
Oh, that's a stroke of luck. I have a job for you, Hunter. I don't know if you know, but I make an ointment that's used by everyone in town. Thing is, when I went to gather the plants I need for it earlier today, every single one I found was withered and dead. It's likely because the kimono has settled in the place where I normally harvest what I need. I'm worried I won't be able to make any more ointment. And I'm worried that will worry everyone else. It's excellent for cuts and gashes, you see. People set quite some store by it. Without it, some wounds get very nasty. I was hoping you might hunt the kimono so the plants start growing again. You'd be doing the whole town a huge favor.
Oh, you got the materials I was after. ありがとうございます. All right, then let's... Ah! Oh, I'm sorry. It's fine. I'm fine. Honestly. I'm not very good with kimono, to tell the truth. Everything about them makes my skin crawl. But so many people want kimono materials, and they go for such a good price. And I've got a lot of mouths to feed at home. So, yes, I'll just take these. And, hope to do business with you again sometime.
Dear Hunter, have you heard the unfortunate news? Of the corpse found along the Blossom Trail. They have identified the poor soul at last. A fine young farming fellow. Such a waste. It was a customer of mine who happened upon the tragedy on his way to Minato via the Harvest Canyon. And now he comes under suspicion. There is no doubt in my mind that this is the work of kimono. Yet not all appear to agree.
Because it's hogwash! Dansuke wasn't killed by any kimono.
Welcome back. Is my account really so hard to believe?
It makes no sense. Dansuke had some of the fastest legs in town. There's no way he would have let a kimono get him. Besides, I happen to know he got into a fight with someone from your store the day before he disappeared. If you ask me, you lot did him in, and then tried to make it look like the work of a kimono. No, but Kogyoku isn't one of us. She and her Crimson Treasury patrons can't be trusted.
You see what dreadful ill will befalls me? Could you possibly investigate the matter? A hunter's eye is what we need to see if this really was the work of kimono or not. Or so say the skeptical few.
Waste of time. I'm sure these snakes will have covered their tracks. But go on. Be my guest.
Back at last! Every single karakuri in Minato is working again. I hear you came back with some big game. You're like a shadow of my former self. You know that? I'm serious. Mine? Hard at work as usual? You're no stranger to the Spirit Isle, are you? Takes me back, thinking about that place. I hunted kimono there not long after I first came to Minato. This body of mine was less creaky back then. I was escorting a gathering party, if I remember rightly. All of a sudden, there was a scream from the bay. A giant bird had tried to take a child, and the father was beside himself. But, luckily for him, the gallant Daidoji Ujishige wasn't far away. I pulled the child from the kimono's clutches and dispatched the beast in one fell swoop. Well, I've always been skilled, especially at talking myself up. But if you need proof, go and see for yourself. There's bound to be more of them, ready to make off with another victim given half a chance. Oh, but if you are heading over there, don't take it lightly. That kimono was almost more than I could handle. Almost. I couldn't say if you'll be able to defeat it or not. But if you emerge victorious, I'll have to give you credit where credit's due. And if you don't, well, we'll laugh about it over a couple of sake. I'm looking forward to it either way.
Oh, you're a hunter then. I'm Ryozaemon, just a merchant. I had some business arranged here in Minato, but my man hasn't shown up. He's a hunter too, you know? A good one.
I've bought things from him before, and he's always been very reliable. He promised me some deer antler this time. I hope nothing's happened to him. It's a worry. For his safety and my business. You couldn't go and look for him, could you? And maybe hunt a deer on the way?
Minato Kogyoku-san has been very good to me since I ended up here in Minato. I'll always be in her debt.